It's your girl, just me today. I am Hannah, and I want to get to know you a little bit better. So, today we are going to start out. I am going to start out, and I hope you participate in some way with a little bit of background because my intention with this whole podcast and growing the Dream Life is Real Life community and agency is really to make real connections. And I know that each of us has a powerful, powerful story and background. And I hope that by blazing a trail, sharing a bit of my story, and inviting you to share yours will be a good start to this podcast and a continuation of the work that I've been doing on the internet and in real life as well. So if we haven't gotten to meet, if you haven't seen my face, if we haven't been in the same room before, hello, welcome. I'm a bit of a hugger. I never thought I would be. I used to be very anti-hugging until my mentor, Jack Canfield, taught me the science of how powerful hugs are. So I'm sending you an air hug, a virtual hug, and I hope you will receive it. And you've probably found this podcast because we have something in common. You know, there's not everyone out there searching for titles like Dream Life is Real Life or coaching or copywriting or entrepreneurship or lifestyle or travel, digital nomads, right? The things that drew you here mean that we have them in common. So, welcome. Thanks again. Hannah, all right, how did you get here? How am I here? What's the deal with Dream Life is Real Life? What are the common threads that drew me to this podcast? And I'll start at the beginning. I was born in small town, Wisconsin, to parents who worked for the state, very, blue collar, traditional. My mom is a school social worker, has been forever. And my dad always has worked for the city in like a municipality capacity. And growing up, I did all of the right things. I was the big sister to my amazing little brother, Jake. I was the class president for 6 years running. Like they elected me in sixth grade and they just kept electing me. I dated the high school football jock. I was in show choir. I played soccer. I just like did all of the right things to get myself into a good school, a good college, the same college that all of my peers and best friends and family members wanted to go to and did go to. The University of Wisconsin, Madison. Go Badgers. It still has an amazing place in my heart. There's so much of me that is Midwestern. So growing up, I always did what I thought was the right thing, right? I chased titles. I chased notoriety. I chased success. I chased the A. I chased having my parents put things on the refrigerator, feeling proud of my accomplishments. And so when I went to college, right, I was a small fish in a big pond. I don't know if anyone else has ever had that experience where you're one thing in one environment and then it changes drastically. And it made me question my identity. I think everyone who has a university experience or moving away from your hometown has this, confrontation with who you are. And I continued to push and push and push to achieve things, to be a leader, to get the good grades, to study hard, work hard, and to expect a lot of myself. I think I'm a natural born leader. And so in college, I got a lot of great opportunities. I had multiple jobs. I had multiple classes. I had multiple majors. Like I was just that girl, like burning the candle at every single end. And what it eventually came down to was a breakup with the high school football jock, which was good and fine, but it was another opportunity for me to realize or to pause or to think about like what am I chasing? And I realized I didn't know what I was chasing. Has anyone else had that experience where it's like you're down this path, you're doing all the things, you're hustling, like, and then one day you're like, how did I get here? Why am I here? Maybe even. So I knew I needed an outlet. And as a 19, 20-year-old college student who had never exercised before, for some reason, after my friend took me to Zumba one time, I just started getting really into that scene, the gym scene, for the first time ever. And I got results and I loved the results. And I kept going to the gym more. And then I started running half marathons. So fun. I love race day. And then if I'm going to do half marathons, I'll have to be really good at fueling my body. And then nutrition became a thing. And within a few months, I had lost a bunch of weight and I was completely obsessed and engrossed in over exercising and under eating. Controlling everything felt amazing, right? I was single, I was independent, and I could control everything I did, every step I took, and everything I put in my mouth. And I thought I was the shit, the best, right? That I was better than everyone. And I continued on that path, to be honest, of, an eating disorder. And I didn't want to label myself as that. I thought I was just healthy. I thought it was just a new interest, but it came in some pushes to go to therapy just to see, what they said, that I started to realize that I was obsessed. It was all consuming. I was addicted to health and fitness in this really unhealthy way. And so I continued with therapy all through college and even afterwards. And I didn't really know if I was working, to be honest. I still thought I knew everything and was better than everyone. But I had a conversation with my therapist. Her name is Wendy. And I was getting really frustrated with the whole process of talking out my stuff and feeling like nobody gets me. It was like in every aspect of my life, I was this unique specimen. I felt like I had this thing inside of me, and I was taking it out like on the treadmill, or I was taking it out in the gym, or I was like channeling it into this like weight loss and running goal. But I knew there was just something bigger in me, and I couldn't explain it to anyone. No one understood exercise where I was, the kind of exercise I wanted to do in my upbringing. No one was into that besides me. But no one also like saw the world that I did, the way that I did, that there was like so much opportunity, and we could be way more than what we were taught in Sunday school. We could be way more. Like I just had this like sleeping giant inside of me, and it was eating me from the inside out, literally. And so Wendy is talking to me about, just accept yourself, Hannah, you've come so far, like you have all these great things, blah, blah. And it's like, Wendy, I don't think anyone understands me. I've tried to communicate this to you. I've tried to communicate this to many people, but nobody gets me. And everyone's trying to hold me back from my greatness. It feels like this is my passion. This is what I want to pursue. And I know that I can do it. I can do remarkable things. It's just that nobody gets me. Something else felt like that. Like, nobody gets me. They all think I'm crazy. They say I'm too much, right? That was the classic Hannah-ism, and probably still is in some ways, but I've grown a lot from that angst, feeling resentful of other people, feeling like they were holding me back. And so Wendy, as like a classic therapist, she was like, Hannah, how do you want to be remembered? Is running marathons and counting calories really how you want to be remembered? And dang, Wendy, I did not know how to respond to that. I had never considered a legacy. Again, you guys, I had just done all the right things. I had chased gold stars. I was doing the right thing. I was fit. I was cool. I was whatever BS label I thought someone would hand me one day. And I had never thought about, how do I want to be remembered? And I truly stuttered. I had no answer for her, but I left that room and decided I'm going to be remembered for something. And I don't think it's counting calories or running half marathons. And this challenge, I took it as a challenge, typical type A overachiever. I was like, well, I'm going to figure this out. I didn't know it at the time, but essentially it set me on a path to discover my life's purpose. And I took lots of routes to explore this, mostly travel. So I decided I needed to get out of my small town Wisconsin bubble. And so I started teaching English in places like the Dominican Republic, Cambodia, Nepal, Thailand. I just started taking every opportunity to travel and serve abroad that I could. And that shed a lot of light on this power that we all have as individuals to use our talents, to share them with other people, to teach someone who's just a few steps behind me. And I love teaching, but I don't love the classroom. Okay. I ended up marrying a 7th grade teacher, not my own, a teacher of 7th graders, which we can get to later. So I appreciate education. I think there's so much power in it. I just knew the classroom is not going to be my happy place. If I had to grade papers and like wipe noses all day, like I would not be my best self. So I wanted to identify a way that I could make an impact on people just a few steps behind me and help them identify what is their passion, help them, be equipped with some tools that I just never had. And so that ultimately led me into a career in higher education. My 9 to 5, my corporate job, if you will, was academic advising. And I worked at a few schools, Beloit College and the University of Wisconsin. I got to go work at my alma mater and help college students chart their path. And I really was so enamored with this profession. I thought I'd be doing this forever. And the first couple of years in my cubicle was cool. I was like planning student activities. I was still close to their age. It felt like I was still on like a college schedule, which who doesn't love, right? Had access to the gym, which I still appreciated, but in a different way, luckily. And I realized very quickly, though, that it wasn't all I had envisioned it to be, right? It's like sunshine and roses when you start a new job and then you get into it and you're like, oh shit, I know it's gonna be like this, right? Anyone who's, done a 9 to 5 before, like maybe you can relate. What I found myself doing in the academic world, though, was looking at these amazing, bright, inspired, excited, full of potential young people sitting on the other side of my desk, telling me what they want to be when they grow up and what they're passionate about and all the experiences they want to have during college. And I would get excited and I would say, yes, and tell me more. And then I would slide them a piece of paper across the table that gave them 40 options to major in. And I would say, all right, well, these are your choices. Maybe sociology, maybe biology, right? Like choosing an undergrad, choosing an undergraduate focus of study or degree or major, I just felt like I was putting these amazing bright stars into boxes. And then I would repeat myself every half an hour. And I really was starting to feel constrained, right? Not just by the cubicle, but by the work and the boxes I was putting the next generation in, these young people in, people a few steps behind me. So I needed a reprieve, and I was still grappling with the eating disorder and body image stuff. I don't think it ever totally goes away. We can talk more about that. But something that it led me to is yoga. And I got really into the yoga community in Madison, Wisconsin. And I even got my yoga teacher certification. And that was a huge shift for me because I was surrounded by out of the box people. I was surrounded by yogis, entrepreneurs, people who are building their own yoga business, contracting their time in different ways than just, working 9 to 5, paying to their retirement, paying off their Toyota Corolla like I was. And so that exposure coupled with the travel I had been doing and the work I was doing really helped shine light on the new path of entrepreneurship, of living life on my own terms. So let's fast forward to the day I decided to just quit my job. I literally marched into my office, my boss's office in the University of Wisconsin, and I said, there's a once-in-a-life opportunity that I have to pursue yoga right here, right now, and I have to take it. So I'll be done in 2 weeks. And I was walking on sunshine. I pranced out of that office. And I called my grandparents. I called my parents. All this stuff was happening. And everyone was heartbroken, just devastated that I would throw away what I had, right? The salary, comfortable, quote unquote, comfortable role. And I realized that it wasn't going to be all sunshine and roses and deep breaths in the yoga community. So I did pursue yoga. I worked with some startups that were teaching school teachers how to bring yoga and mindfulness into their classroom. And that, again, opened new doors. It brought me to California for the first time. I supplemented some of that with network marketing because as I grew my network, I just started to get exposed to all these opportunities to live life on my own terms outside of the cubicle. So I went down the yoga teaching path. I went down the startup path in the yoga space, and I went down network marketing. And I appreciate every freaking experience, every role, every conversation, every bad sales presentation, every bad yoga class, everything I've had to quit, every difficult conversation I've had to have, because it's brought me here today. And I wrote in a book with Jack Canfield that's coming out in 2021 about starting to really dive into what is possible for myself. Okay. It was the open door of quitting that job that allowed me to start seeing what was possible and that you can make money in a lot of ways, right? I think that's the thing that holds so many people back is that there's this comfortable money that's coming in all of the time and you think there aren't enough jobs or you don't know what industry you would go into. But like, honey, I opened the gym. I was an assistant for another blogger. I did sales calls for another coach. Like I took any opportunity I could that would allow me to live life on my own terms and continue to pursue this passion. So over the last 4 years, I've been my own entrepreneur. I've shifted business models a lot. over the years, or, specifically what I offer in my coaching, from helping other women with eating disorders and integrating yoga and mindfulness into my coaching, life coaching essentially, and monetizing that and figuring that out, and then wanting to get out of that space. It wasn't totally healthy for me to be talking about food and exercise all of the time, to then help other yogis build their business, to then help other coaches build their marketing business. Because you guys, just like I realized in college when I was teaching English in Cambodia and other countries, is that if you can just teach someone who's a few steps behind you, you're a leader. You're an impact maker. And you can do that on your own terms. You know that if you're listening to this, right? And from your laptop, nonetheless, right? So here we are today. It's 2020. We're relaunching the Dream Life is Real Life podcast. Dream Life is Real Life is the name of the game because I exclaim it all of the time. When I was on my journey to developing life on my own terms, I would find myself in these situations like on the beach in California for a yoga retreat, meeting these amazing people, one of which became my husband, and exclaiming things like, is this real life? Dream life is real life. If you can dream it, you can do it. And every single person on this earth has a unique dream. None of us have the exact same dream. The nuances and the energies and the type of dog on your vision board and the way you go about it is unique. And that's why I know each of us has that dream life inside of us, and it's waiting for us. It exists. It is real. And so I want to continue turning around, teaching, and giving you all the tools that I have. I've worked with people like Jack Canfield intimately to develop success principles. I've worked with some of the top coaches in the coaching space. I've ghostwrited for some of the most, successful marketing writers out there. And I want to continue to lift the curtain, show you behind dream lives, because it's not far away. It's not hard. It's not going to take you 50 years to get there. Because if we can continue lifting the curtain on role models who might have something similar, who might have learned lessons you need to learn, then you can speed up the process. Guys, I stumbled into role models when I started going to yoga classes. I didn't have people showing me the way. No one thought outside of the cubicle box around me. And if you found this podcast, you're at least accessing role models. You're at least accessing a world that's beyond what you were taught in Sunday school, like I held on to for 20 something years. So here on the show, I'm going to be sharing more of my story, as if you didn't get enough just now. I'm going to be raising the voices of other people who are chasing their dreams, making their dream life their real life, becoming entrepreneurs and living life on their own terms, because everyone can do this. I am not special. My guests are not special. We've just interacted with the right experiences, made some leaps of faith, made decisions that have gotten us closer to a life of freedom, a life of impact, a life of abundance, making money, people. That's part of it. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping other people share their passions, share their skills, and get paid well to do it. The only thing holding you back is you. And if I can show you a better path through yourself, then we all create more abundance. Here's the deal. If I was just worried about me making my dream life my real life, I would be bored out of my mind. I live, work, eat, sleep, breathe the idea that the more people that you help get what they want, the more you're going to get what you want. We are in a community. We are not individuals. We are interdependent. And the more we can raise each other up, the more abundance we bring for everyone. And if we can get folks out of their square, out of their narrow-mindedness, and just start to see a different way, just start to play with ideas that they hadn't encountered before, just start to see, hey, maybe that's something I could try. If she did it, I can do it. Then we raise the vibration of the whole world. Guys, this is not woo-woo. This is scientific. And this is why I do this work. Because when each of us are in our passion, when each of us are paid well, when each of us are thinking about how we can help each other out, and we're sharing our messages with intention, the world is such a better place. I truly believe there is enough bakers in the world. There is enough marketers in the world. There's enough treadmills in the world. Like, everything is by design. But it's when we step out of our designed path and we start to stick to the what I should be doing path, or what everyone else thinks I should be doing, or this achievement with no intention path, that's when we mess stuff up. That's why there's not harmony in the world. That's why there's so much unrest. That's why you can't sleep through the night, because you're not on the right path. So let's find it. Let's get you on it. Let's get you tapped into your abundance and making your dream life your real life. Not going to do it all in this episode. So I hope that you will continue to subscribe to the show, to stick around, to find me on the interwebs. I am a real person and truly committed to making real connections here. You can find me on Instagram at Hanna Hermanson _. There's only 2 H's in that whole thing. I'm Hanna, always forward, no H at the end. You can join my Facebook group. You can follow me, my website, dreamlifeisreallife.com. And most importantly, you can continue to show up every single week to the show, to show up for yourself and keep making your dream life your real life. I'm cheering you on, and let's get to work.